Und willkommen zurück zu Let's Play The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky the Third. Wir machen uns dann gleich mal auf zu der nächsten Tür. War, glaube ich, auch eine Stardoor, oder? Genau, das haben wir schon gemacht. Das noch nicht. Das auch noch nicht. Ich weiß aber gar nicht, wie viele Rezepte wir schon bei uns drin haben. Haben wir da einen Knopf für, um das Rezeptmenü aufzuöffnen? Nein! Okay, ja, die Party wollte ich gerade nicht. Da ist es. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 Rezepte. Wir brauchen noch 9 Rezepte, glaube ich, ne? 20 Rezepte oder so müssen wir dafür kennen, um da reingehen zu können. In die Tür, wenn mich nicht alles täuscht. 20, genau. Das heißt, 9 Rezepte müssen wir noch lernen. Wie viele Items haben wir denn, die Rezepte sind? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Stück. Okay, können wir auf jeden Fall... Ich möchte die aber jetzt nicht einfach alle verschwenden, indem ich die einfach benutze, weil im Moment haben wir es nicht nötig, die zu benutzen. Ich gehe erstmal dann zu einer anderen Tür. Warte mal, glitscht das Spiel wieder rum oder kam mir das nur gerade komisch vor? Ich glaube, es kam mir nur gerade komisch vor. Wir haben nämlich noch eine weitere gehabt. Das war, glaube ich, eine Stardoor mit der links oder rechts, ne? Nee, das war eine Sundoor, oder? Na, ja. To choose left or right. Only the cards know the future. Ich habe die Karte, die Fate govert dabei, ne? Das war ja ein Armor, war das, glaube ich, ne? Irgendeine Karte hier. Das war ja was auch Dings verhindert hat. Deathblow. Oder war das der Mirage? Ne, nicht der Mirage Ring. Das war irgendeine Karte hatten wir hier. Wo ist sie denn jetzt? Card. Destiny Card, da ist sie. Yep. The final trump card. Entrust your faith to this. Also können wir damit da rein. Mal gucken, was das für uns tut. Ne? Open the door, klar. Ich hoffe nur, dass wir da kein Trial kriegen. Nicht nochmal, weil diesmal habe ich keine CP dafür. Okay. Wir bekommen gleich das Blessing und Memory Fragment. The Calvert Republic. There's a city in this country, a place where migrants from east have recreated their homeland down to the bright lacquered tiles. Nicknamed the Eastern Quarter, it was home to people of all kinds from all places. On the northern outskirts of that town was a little rundown bar. Doubtless it had been presentable once, but now the plaster was crumbling and what doors were left barely fit their pitted frames. Okay, also ein heruntergekommener Platz jetzt. Of course, such a seedy place attracted the clientele to match. Inside were 2 gamblers of exceptional skill. It was only mere months ago when they had turned the underworld on its head in the match of the century. The first was Jack, a prolific blue-eyed gambler known as the moniker Victory Jack, who was finally able to put his past behind him. And the second was Halle, a petite gambler who remained doggedly by his side, despite the best attempts to shake her. Ah, okay. Okay, ich verstehe gerade nicht, was das mit der gesamten Story zu tun hat, weil das sind 2 Charaktere, von denen ich noch nie gehört habe. Today was yet another ordinary day at that bar. However, the shriek of the door opening announced the arrival of someone who was anything but. Ah, und dieser jemand ist wahrscheinlich Sinn oder so? Ah, das ist die Bar. Huh? Who the hell are you? Gotta be either really dumb or really brave, and that's saying something with this joint. I'm putting my money on the former. How about you? Also dumm, ne? Hey, get away from him, guys. Wer ist sie denn? I'm sorry about them. I'm sure that wasn't the welcome you were expecting when you stepped in here. Ist das Kilika, als sie jünger war? They're not bad people, really, I swear. Although you could certainly be forgiven for thinking so looking at them. Are you a customer by chance? Here, let me show you a table. Still, you're quite the unusual one, if you don't mind me saying so. Not many people would willingly come to a rundown bar like this, especially not in the middle of the day. Aber ich glaube, es geht hier eher um den Mann, der hier gerade reingekommen ist. I'm not saying it was a bad idea to come here, of course. Sure, it's in desperate need of renovations, and the regulars are a rowdy bunch. But there's just something, I don't know, warm about this place, like I'm home. The food's a lot better than you'd think, too. Oh, watch your feet. I'm pretty sure that floor panel there is going to snap at any day now. Well, here's your seat. Wer ist denn jetzt der Typ, um den es hier geht? Anything you'd like to order? You don't look like you're here for booze anyway. How about something to eat? Personally, I'd recommend the Tom Yum Gong. It's the most popular thing on our menu, and for good reason. That mix of spicy with just the right amount of sourness is perfect. I can see your mouth watering already. That's a definite yes. How about something to drink, just water? Sorry, what was that? You're looking for Jack? Well, he's usually sleeping in the back at this time of day. Wait, did you come here to challenge him to a game of something? Sorry, I didn't even think to ask if that was where you were here for. Well, alright, I'll go and talk with him. If he's in a good mood, he might be willing. Don't get your hopes up, though. Wait here for a minute, okay? Okay, wer ist jetzt der Fremde? Hey, you hear that? That guy over there wants to take Jack on. Yeah, I heard. If he takes him up on it, this could get really interesting. Yeah, wouldn't be so sure about that. It ain't often Jack actually gets serious, and I don't know if that guy is who got what it would take to bring it out of him. And, well, here's the Tom Yum Gon you ordered. Eat it while it's still hot. Oh, and as for Jack, sorry, but he says he'll pass this time. Seems like he's still hungover from drinking yesterday. Doesn't even want to get up. I'm sure that's not what you want to hear after coming all this way to challenge him, but that's Jack for you. Wait, no, I've got a great idea. How about you and I have a game first? If you beat me, I'll go bug him again. I'm sure he'd be totally interested in someone who's better than me. Surprised? I'm actually quite the gambler, you know. Ist sie, der andere Gambler? Halle, genau. The name's Hal. The daughter of the legendary gambler King. Not exactly a household name, but it's a pretty famous one in these kinds of circles. Hab mir fast schon gedacht, dass sie Halle ist. Aber heißt das jetzt Hal, Hall, Hale, Halle? Fair warning, I don't plan on holding back one bit. If we're doing this, we're going all out. Plus, if I win, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Are you good with that? Warum? Muss dann gehen. I'll take that as a yes. Well, let's move to a more suitable table, shall we? As for the game, how does Blackjack sound? Muss ich jetzt Blackjack spielen? Yo, Blackjack, nice. Man muss so nah wie möglich, glaube ich, an 21 kommen, war das, ne? Aber sobald man drüber ist, hat man verloren. You play a series of blackjack games against Hell, one-on-one. Maximum of 7 games will take place, and the first player to win 4 games is the victor. The following commands can be used. Hit. Take 1 additional card. You can take up to 6 additional cards, providing you don't bust. Your total score reaches or exceeds 22. Genau. Also muss ich auf 21 Karten. 21 Punkte ist das Beste, was man kriegen kann. Take no additional cards and take on your opponent using the ones you already have. Having 7 cards and a combined total score of 21 or less results in a 7 cards hand, which is even stronger than a blackjack. 2 cards with a total of 21 between them. Okay. There are no possible special hands. Okay. Start. Gut. Hehe. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Okay, ich fange gleich mal an mit 13. Ich nehme mal noch eine Karte. Ich habe 20. Ich bleib mal dabei. Sure you're cool with that hand? Yep. Well, whatever, it's my turn now. Guck mal, ich habe gewonnen. Woo! 20 ist immerhin, ne? Looks like you win this one. Congrats. 20 ist fast perfekt. I won't lose next time. 7. 17. Ah. Fuck, ich hab verloren. Sure you're cool with that hand? Well, whatever, it's my turn now. Sie zieht auch noch. Komm, verkackst auch noch. Scheiße. Ja. Uh-oh. Did you go and bust? Should have quit while you were ahead. Okay, ready for the next round? Okay, ich versuch's nochmal, obwohl, ja, es ist immer blöd. Ich habe genau 21, jetzt höre ich auf. Well, whatever, it's my turn now. Ich durfte mir das nicht mal aussuchen, ob ich aufhöre. Ouch, I totally lost that one. Must have gotten a little ahead of myself. Guck mal, das ist sowas spiele ich gerne. Das ist sowas, wo man selber noch mit irgendwas rechnen kann. Guck mal. Machen wir nochmal. Eine 2, machen wir nochmal. Eine 8, scheiße. Sure you're done, you look awfully confident. Tja, Uh-oh, did you go and burst? And bust, ja, war so. Bis jetzt war es immer abwechselnd. Einmal gewonnen, einmal verloren, ne? Ich bleib mal dabei. Ja, gut. Das war mir zu unsicher. Es war mir einfach zu unsicher. Ist mir immer noch zu unsicher eigentlich. Ich darf nur eine 2, 3, 4 oder 5 bekommen. Alles andere bastet mich. Sie ist auch nur 1 Punkt näher dran. Und sie hat gewonnen damit. Toll. Ich retrye das nochmal. Well, that was a letdown. That's all you're capable of, even if I did convince Jack to challenge you, you'd lose against him anyway. Well, as harsh as this will sound, rules are rules. You're gonna have to leave for today. But only for today. Come back once you've managed to brush up your skills, okay? Try again without lowering difficulty. Ich will das so schaffen. Ich schneide das für euch aber raus. Well, that's that. Diesmal habe ich gewonnen. Aber, guck mal, diesmal hat sie nur ein Spiel gewonnen. Ja? You won, stranger. Nice work. Learn the recipe for Tom Yum Gon. Ach, guck mal, dadurch haben wir sogar noch ein Recipe gelernt. Das heißt, wir brauchen sogar nur noch 8 Items consume. Wow. Who would have thought? You're actually really good. Alright, a deal's a deal. I'll go and talk to Jack again. Müssen wir gegen Jack dann auch Black Jack spielen? Wow, he actually managed to beat her? Looks that way. Maybe we'll get to see something interesting after all. Man, I'm tired. Das ist Jack, so ein Schönling. Huh? There's a new face. So what? That the guy who bet Hull? Yeah, my head throbbing like a bitch. What? There goes the floor. Sie hat ja gesagt, das eine Brett ist kurz davor durchzubrechen, ne? See, told ya. I knew he'd be the one to break it. That you did. Poor guy. It's kinda crazy how he's amazingly lucky at gambling, yet amazingly unlucky at everything else. Actually, it's probably less unlucky and more him always being out of it. Hey, I heard that, you. I'll take you on any time you want. That's enough, you two. If you want to fight, you can take it outside. The last thing we need is this place ending up any more rundown than it already is. Oh, and on that note, you're fixing that broken floorboard yourself, Jack. That's on you. Why do I have to do it? Fine, fine. This sucks. Huh, never thought I'd see Jack so wrapped around somebody's finger. You're telling me. Wie wär's jetzt mit einem Gamble? Anyways, sorry for the wait, here's Jack. Wir waren die ganze Zeit eigentlich das, so... I was right then, this is the guy who wants to take me on. Sure is. Really? He doesn't look like he's gonna put up much of a fight to me. Never let your guard down, or you could find yourself stumbling into something unexpected. Like, you know, the floorboard again. Bah. Na dann, lass uns gamblen, dafür sind wir ja hier. Anyway, I'm Jack. Think you already know that, though. And before we do any gambling, I need a drink. Get me a whiskey, Hall. On the rocks. Du hast doch jetzt noch einen Kater. What was that you said earlier about a hangover again? Oh, I get rid of that just now. Come on, we haven't got all day. You're unbelievable. Naja. Did Hall catch your eye? Girl's about as sexy as a lamppost right now, but she's got potential. Couldn't tell you what made her want to work in a shithole like this, but here she is. Wie, also, hat er gerade gesagt, sie wäre so sexy wie eine Litfaßsäule oder irgendwie sowas? Keine Ahnung, was ist eine Lampo? Wie eine Laternenstange, ne? Also eigentlich nicht sexy, aber so unattraktiv finde ich sie gar nicht. Anyway, forget her for now. Let's talk about you, yeah? You're one brave guy to come in here all on your own and out of the blue. I doubt many guys would have the guts to do that, or girls for that matter. Nice to see you two are hitting it off. Here's your drink, Jack. Thanks. Huh. You hanging around? I figured you'd get back to work. As if I could work knowing there's an exciting match going on over here. The owner is giving me the okay too, so I'm gonna park my butt right here until you're done. With an owner like that, it's no wonder this place is the way it is. Ist der Owner zufällig der Typ im Hintergrund da, der da gerade das Glas putzt? Der sieht irgendwie nicht so seriös aus. Also sehr ernst sieht der aus, aber nicht gerade vertrauenswürdig. Well, whatever. Let's get this over with. Der sieht aus wie so ein Bösewicht, als könnte er ein Bösewicht aus irgendeinem James-Bond-Film oder sowas sein. Here we go! You're the challenger, so I'm gonna be the one picking the game we play. And I'm going with the one I'm best at, Poker. Na super. Rules. Ist das Hold'em oder sowas? Poker is using unconventional rules. Na super, unconventional. In this game there are 3 table cards in the center of the table that players include in their hands. Both players are given 3 cards at the start of the turn. Then they eventually choose 5 or 3 cards in their hand and 3 on the table to make a hand. Both players attempt to steal the other's stars, and the player first to reach 7 stars wins. The player starts with 3, while Jack has 4. Losing all of your stars will result in defeat. Er fängt einfach mit mehr an als ich, das finde ich aber nicht nett. The following commands are available. Exchange all cards which have been placed in hold status once, then play. All hold. Place all cards in hold status. Race, bet 2 stars, not 1, on the next game. Fold, exchange all cards in the hand with the table cards, once per game only, okay. Selecting a card allows you to choose whether to hold it or not. If you want to keep all of your cards, place them all in hold status. Oh mein Gott, ja, das sind die possible hands. No pair ist einfach gar nichts. Ein Paar, ja, 2 Paare, 3 einer Sorte. Dann kommt ein Straight. 5 Karten haben eine Straße halt, ne? Flush. 5 Karten haben das gleiche Muster drauf. Full House. Ja, ein Paar und 3 gleiche. Dann gibt es ein Vierling noch. Straight Flush ist eine Straße, die gleichzeitig auch von dem gleichen Muster ist. Und den Royal Flush. Und das ist halt ein Straight Flush, wo 10 Joker, ist das der Joker? Heißt der im Englischen Joker? Der Bube halt, ne? 10 Bube, Queen und König und Ass. Dann starten wir einfach mal. Let's get this thing over with. May the best man win, I guess. So, wir haben da 3 und wir haben hier 3. Okay. Wir haben im Moment ein 7-Paar. Dann möchte ich meine 2 gerne changen. Warte mal, ich wollte die 2 changen. Scheiße. Looking forward to seeing what you get. Choose cards you want to use. Die 7 auf jeden Fall. Ich kann 4 noch benutzen. Damit hätte ich schon mal 2 Paare. Und die Queen auch. Damit hätte ich 3 Paare, oder? Choose which cards to use. Ja. You're just gonna walk away? You got some balls, stranger. Nein. Ich möchte die behalten. Die möchte ich behalten. Die möchte ich behalten. Und eine weitere darf ich noch behalten. Dann nehme ich das Ass noch. Wie kann ich denn was anderes da machen? Ach so, ich muss 5 behalten. Ich habe kein einziges Paar jetzt. Da sind doch die... Ich dachte, die auf dem Tisch zählen auch. Hieß es nicht eben, ich muss was mit denen auf dem Tisch und auf meiner Hand bilden? Sorry about that. Guess luck was on my side today. Alright, next game. Hä? Ich hatte ja eigentlich 3 Paare damit, oder nicht? Choose which cards to hold. Na super. Die möchte ich halten und die möchte ich halten. Change. Ich habe, glaube ich, eben die falschen Karten getauscht. Well, did you get the cards you wanted? Ich habe 2 Achten. Und die 7 halt. Kann ich dann die Joker hier auch noch benutzen? Und das Ass. Damit habe ich 2 Paare. Also zählen die auf dem Tisch jetzt überhaupt nicht. Oder wie habe ich das verstanden? A draw, huh? Well, it's no fun winning every time. So, wie ich das jetzt verstanden habe, zählen die auf dem Tisch einfach überhaupt nicht mit. Hiermit kann ich schon mal nichts bekommen. Ja. Obwohl, 8, 9... Eine 10 würde mir noch fehlen, ne? Komm hier, Change. Aber jetzt habe ich die beiden weggegeben. Jedes Mal, ne? Ach so, das sind die auf dem Tisch, die da links sind. Ah, okay. Jedes fucking Mal. wähle ich aus Versehen... Jedes Mal wähle ich aus Versehen die Karten aus, die ich weggeben möchte und nicht die, die ich halten möchte. Ja, use. Ich habe nur ein Paar. Ist das wieder ein Draw? Ja, komm. Jetzt habe ich endlich verstanden, wie das geht. Okay, ich habe gerade ein Paket bekommen. Musste gerade mal kurz... So, die beiden möchte ich holden. So. Change. Ja. Kann ich so nicht so viel machen mit, Ich habe 2 Asse. Und, einen Buben. Und einen König. Und eine 6. Und ein Pair, okay. Ich glaube, wir haben jetzt alle verstanden, wie die Regeln funktionieren und so. Ich würde sagen, ich schneide das so lange, bis ich hier mal gewonnen habe. Oder bis irgendwas anderes, bis ich hier gewonnen habe. Oder, genau. Oder ich verloren habe. Weil danach kommt bestimmt auch nochmal eine Filmsequenz, wenn man verliert. Beziehungsweise eine Storysequenz mit Text und sowas und alles. Und, aber das Spiel jetzt werde ich erstmal überspringen. Wir haben alle verstanden, wie es funktioniert. Und, dass wir die ganze Zeit immer unentschieden haben, das geht irgendwann auf den Sack. Sorry, looks like I win. The goddess just isn't on your side today, stranger. Tja, habe ich wohl verloren. Er hat ja jetzt auch direkt hintereinander jedes Mal irgendwie einen Flush oder einen Straight gehabt. Hell wasn't blowing smoke, was she? After hearing you bet her, I figured you might give me a run for my money, but no such luck. I wasn't blowing smoke at all. I don't think he bet me by pure chance. Doesn't really matter now. My interest's gone, I'm afraid. By all means, come back again, but make sure you can do a whole lot better than if you do. Ja, ich möchte das nochmal versuchen. Nein, ich möchte die Difficulty nicht lowern. Ich will das jetzt schaffen. Ich habe gerade gewonnen. Would you look at that? Don't expect that luck to hold out, stranger, aber ich habe doch schon gewonnen. Damn, you managed to get all my stars? Be proud. Not just anyone can beat me. Ja, aber ich schon. Ich schon. Well, I'll be damned. You're pretty good after all. You beat me, fair and square. I ain't gonna make excuses. Are you kidding me? He actually bet Jack. Only because he was holding back. You know that as well as I do. The same could have been true for his opponent, to be fair. Yeah, you're right. It was still a damn good game, though. Hat er sich echt zurückgehalten? Looks like we're the center of attention now. I'd say we entertained the bar enough, at least. Can't say I'm thrilled with losing, but that's the first time in a while I felt the rush of a good gamble. I'll say that was a great game to watch. I'm itching to play some poker myself. Anyway, if you ever feel like it, come back. Come on back. I guess I'll try and make time for you if you do. But just so we're clear, you haven't seen half of what I can really do yet. You say that, Jack, but for all you know, it's gonna be you getting beaten next time too. We'll see about that. Still, I feel the exact same way as he does. You're always welcome back here. I'd love to play you again, personally. You better come back at least once, though, got it? I need a chance to get my own victory against you, and now you've got one on me. Oh, that's all for today? That's a shame. Well, come back again sometime, alright? Okay. Nice. Haben wir das auch geschafft. Side Story The Casino Gambler Jack finished. Das hat überhaupt nichts mit unserer Story zu tun. Mirage Ring Plus, okay. Und 10.000 Mira. Was natürlich sehr nice ist. Ich würde sagen, wir haben jetzt noch gar nicht so viel gemacht in diesem Part. Der Großteil war ja jetzt auch rausgeschnitten wahrscheinlich. In den Hermit's Garden gehen wir nochmal. Und wir wechseln unsere Gruppe. War das hier? Ja, gut. Wir tauschen Tida und Joshua nämlich aus gegen Olivier und Müller. Denn wir haben ja noch diese andere Tür, ne? Moondor, war das Stardor, war das, ne? The Playful Minstrel and his closest ally. Das sind bestimmt Olivier und Müller. Ne? Denke ich mal. Dann machen wir das gerade noch. Oh. No. Ich glaube... Ich glaube, wir müssen hier eine Quest machen. Also, da müsste ich erstmal gucken, hat Müller denn überhaupt... Oh Gott, der ist richtig scheiße ausgerüstet von den Ornaments her. Was haben wir, was Besseres, EP-mäßig? Nein, Attack 4 haben wir... Kann er aber nicht benutzen. Okay, ich passe die Ornaments nochmal an, weil die müssen scheinbar, denke ich mal... mit dem Beast to overcome. Das ist wahrscheinlich, heißt das, dass die hier eine Dings haben. Eine Prüfung, ein Trial. So, ich hoffe, jetzt geht das. Ich habe jetzt gerade die Ornaments nochmal angepasst und so weiter und die Ausrüstung ein bisschen angepasst. Und hoffe, ich kann das Beast, was sie besiegen wollen, jetzt besiegen. Es klang nämlich irgendwie so, als ob es hier ein Dings... Es gibt jetzt... Echt jetzt? Ich habe die Ornaments und alles angepasst, nur damit es jetzt gar keine Prüfung gibt. Na super. Na super. 1 month after the collapse of the Liber Arc. The banquet to celebrate the crisis' successful resolution was over, with his talented friends having largely left the capital to go elsewhere. One of them, however, Prince Olivier Reisaano, sat rather comfortably in the ambassador's office in Gransel's Erebonian embassy. His work in the country not quite settled. Okay, er war immer noch da. I can't believe that you... I mean, my deepest apologies for not noticing that you were His Highness Prince Olivier sooner. Ach, das ist für Cranach wahrscheinlich. Oh, I'm not surprised you never realized. I may be a prince, but my mother was a commoner. What point is there in bothering to remember my face? It's not as though I often showed myself in the palace or attended at high society gatherings. Knowing me certainly isn't going to help you in moving up the ranks, my friend. There's no need to be so humble, Your Highness. Besides, I'm actually rather grateful to you, Ambassador. You gave me all kinds of useful advice during my stay here at the embassy that I'm sure will be to my benefit in the future. Well-meant words such as act like a man of the Empire for once in your life and stop idling here, go home and try doing some damned work. Your Highness, I was only... Your Highness, I think you've tormented him enough for one day. The ambassador behaved in the same way any other sane man would in his position. If anything, I'd say he has every right to be angry at us for keeping the truth from him for so long. But Müller... I suppose you're right. I'll spare him any more teasing for now. I actually wasn't joking about being grateful to you, though. You only have done admirable work over the past month. I have. Acting as a pipeline with the Empire, checking the safety of Erebonians residing in Libel, helping the international liner service to resume. And those are only the tip of the iceberg. You've done so much more. You have my deepest thanks as the Prince of the Empire. I'm not worthy of such praise, Your Highness. You, however, deserve the utmost for braving the danger you did flying up to the Libel Ark. All of what happened seems to have caused quite the commotion in our homeland, though the people seem to be rather relieved now that they know the danger has passed. It's all thanks to your courage that they are able to rest easy. Oh, there's no point in flattering me, Ambassador. I just did what I could. Nothing more, nothing less. Aber war wirklich an vorderster Front dabei. And I couldn't have done anything alone. All I was able to accomplish was thanks to the help of those around me. I'm fairly removed from the stereotype of Erebonians as stern, strong, and self-sufficient, if I do say so myself. As rude as it may be to agree, perhaps you're correct. And yet I believe your willingness to flexible most definitely helped rather than hindered you here. I believe people like you are exactly what the Empire is going to need in the future. Regardless of how I may feel about His Excellency the Chancellor's approach. Ambassador. Well, this is a surprise. I was under the impression that you supported the Chancellor. Then again, you're a noble. Does that lead you to oppose his reformist policies, perhaps? I may be a noble on paper, but I'm only a baron. All in all, I generally fall in favor of his reformist policies. Be that as it may, while this may just be the result of being in Libel for so long, and being influenced by the ways of its people, I do sometimes find myself becoming frightened by his hardline approach. I can't help but wonder exactly what direction he's trying to take our old nation. Interesting. Your Highness? Hier gibt's auch schon ziemlich viel, wo es einfach um das politische System von Erebonia geht und so weiter. Wahrscheinlich, um die Leute schon mal drauf vorzubereiten auf die Spielreihe hier Trails of Cold Steel, ne? Oh, I was just thinking that I'm quite glad to have taken the chance to engage in such fruitful talk with you just before departing the country. I pray you will continue doing all you can to ensure the peace of Libel and its surrounding nations while I'm gone. Preferably in cooperation with Ambassador Cochrane. Yes, let's not forget her, I suppose. Auch wenn ihr euch irgendwie nicht wirklich vertragt, ne? Still, it's true that since the non-aggression pact was signed, there has been some progress with regards to the crossbill problem. And given that it was Libel who proposed that pact, that makes my role in future negotiations very important indeed. I presume that is what you are trying to say. You're a sharp one, my good man. Excellent. Now I can return to the capital with my mind at ease. Leave everything here to me, Your Highness. I will be looking forward to hearing what you achieve back in our homeland. Okay. This truly is a country like no other. In genau demselben Zimmer hat man ihn, glaube ich, am Ende des ersten Teils gesehen, beziehungsweise am Anfang des letzten Kapitels des ersten Teils, hat man den, glaube ich, in diesem Zimmer mit Müller gesehen, wenn ich mich recht entsinne. This is truly a country like no other. I never thought the day would come when I would hear things like that from a noble of the Empire. Indeed. He's apparently somewhat less of an obstinate man than I thought he was. Perhaps this nation's very air has the power to genuinely change people. It seems to have had an effect on you too. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more smiles from you these days than I used to. I'm loath to admit it, but that may well be true. I still find myself wishing that you would learn from Liberalian dignity and sense of restraint, however. Two qualities you don't particularly possess in any measure. In fact, you have far too much of their opposites. You say that, but these qualities are the only weapon that I have. I don't have much that will allow me to compete against the Chancellor. I need to use what little happens to be tucked in my corner as best as I can. Have there been any changes to your plans? None. We should be able to proceed as arranged. 3 days ago, the Chancellor left the capital on a tour of Eastern Erebonia. Tomorrow, you will be returning there aboard the Arsail while he's still out in the east. All those who need to be made aware of our return have been given proper notice. Your arrival in Erebonia will make a real impact of that I am certain. What potential obstructions to the plan are there at present? Nothing major. There have been some movements in the Intelligence Division's 4th subdivision, but not much. There's a chance that everyone is being cautious because the Arsail is involved. But I'd put greater odds on the idea that everyone is just treating this as a pompous performance by you and not taking it seriously. Well, that'd be right too. It is. I've no choice but to start, even if this means I have to use Libel. And if I'm going to put on a show, why not put on the finest one in the skies I've ever seen? Warum nicht? Ich muss gerade was trinken, weil ich krieg gerade richtig Hustenreiz. Ich bin gerade so richtig in so einer Hardcore-Aufnahmesession und nehme gerade ganz viele Folgen am Stück auf. Ich glaube, ich muss hier noch einmal eine kurze Pause einlegen, um meine Stimme zu schonen. I suppose I can't argue that. Wer klopft denn da zu so später Stund? I'm sorry to trouble you at this late hour, Your Highness. A message has arrived for you from Heimdall. What would you have me do? Really? All right, come in. Pardon me. Ist das Lecter? Well, if it isn't Lecter. Es ist Lecter. I was wondering where you'd been. I haven't seen you all day. I've been exceptionally busy with work since this morning, I'm afraid. I had hoped to be able to come and see you earlier since you will be leaving tomorrow. I'm terribly sorry for not being able to. Oh, never mind that. If that work of yours is done now, we three could always enjoy some sensual quality time together for the remainder of the night. So, what was the message from the capital, Secretary? They've acknowledged receipt of His Highness' message. However, they didn't anticipate that you may be able to arrive all the way from Gransel in less than half a day. As such, they're currently in a minor panic trying to ensure everything's ready for the ceremony tomorrow. That doesn't come as a surprise. There's nothing like the Arsail when it comes to speed at home. How cruel you both are for so deftly ignoring my proposal, although it sounds as though the stage will be set in time. Now, I need to decide on an outfit that will leave everyone's jaws on the floor to sweeten my arrival. Perhaps a glistening coat and white loincloth, and white loincloth will do the trick. Aha, du willst also einen Lendenschutz tragen. That would make a great impact, alright. I almost wish I could go along and see it myself. Please don't encourage him. You show remarkable promise for someone so young. What do you say to coming back on the Arsail with me? I'd welcome your company. Your work here in Libel is just about done as it is, isn't it? Your offer's certainly tempting, but I'm afraid I have another job to take care of soon. The thought is appreciated, of course. Really? Well, that is a shame. Good luck with that next job of yours. Thank you. Well, if you'll excuse me. Na dann excuse ich dich mal. Sei entschuldigt, du darfst gehen. So, that is Second Secretary Lecter Arundel. Is it safe to assume he's one of the Chancellors? Almost definitely, yes. He came through Harkham Gate on foot and took up his new position at the embassy a month ago. And right around the same time we headed to the Liber Ark aboard the Arsail at that. There's no way that could possibly coincidence. No, it couldn't. The most likely possibility seems to be that he's part of the intelligence division. Are you sure not doing anything regarding him all this time was a good idea? Oh, absolutely! We needed some way to find out what the Chancellor was up to after all. We'll probably get some kind of reaction from the Chancellor through his reports at some point. Ja, es sieht irgendwie so aus hier, also zumindest klingt das von Olivier immer so, als ob der Chancellor ein Gegenspieler wäre. Und ich meine auch Olivier war, als der erwähnt hatte im zweiten Teil, dass der Chancellor irgendwie mit der Society zusammenhängt. Okay, seltsam. Probably in about 2 weeks when the Chancellor's tour has finished. You'd planned that far ahead all along, had you? Well, in that case, I'll be sure that we're ready. I'll be counting on you, love. Oh. Something the matter? Not really, it's just that the moon has come out. And what a beautiful moon it is. Ist es wirklich so ein schöner Mond? Ja, ist schon schön. Dafür gibt's ja sogar extra eine animierte Sequenz. It's strange to think that this will be the last time we'll see the moon from here. Truth be told, I'm going to miss it. Well, well, it looks like putting a smile on your face a little more often isn't the only thing Libel's done for you. It's opened your eyes to life's natural beauty as well. But in all seriousness, we'll just have to do all we can to be able to come back and see it again one day. While we're both still alive. Indeed. Okay, also haben wir hier jetzt gesehen, wie Olivier und Müller ihren letzten Tag in Lübbel verbracht haben quasi, ne? The next morning. Die sind wahrscheinlich jetzt Gäste im Schloss, ne? Yep. Scheint so. Und Chloe ist auch da. Your Majesty, Your Highness, I humbly thank you for both your generous hospitality during my stay in your fine kingdom. You were even gracious enough to humor my brazen request of escorting me back to Heimdall aboard the Arsail. This debt I owe you will be repaid many times over in the future, rest assured of that. Oh, you needn't think of this as anything we wanted out of our way for. Ich muss langsam lesen lernen. Escorting an honored state guest back home is a matter of course. Particularly a guest to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude. Genau, er war ja immerhin auch dabei, als er hat ja auch die Liber Arc mit versenkt, ne? Da war er ganz oben mit dabei. Und ich glaube, hier fängt sie wieder an rumzuglitschen, wie ich das sehe. If you ever have the opportunity, please do come back to Libel again in the future. Irgendwas stimmt nämlich da mit der Anhöhe nicht, wo der Thron drauf ist. I imagine Estelle and Joshua will be back by then too. So we'll all be able to give you a nice warm welcome. I'm already excited for my next visit. Have they left the country yet, by the way? They're busy getting ready to leave over in Rueland at the morning, I believe. I'm planning to see them off when the time comes. I see. Incidentally, while the ruins of Hamel are currently sealed off, I'll do what I can on my end to ensure they are allowed inside. Could I trouble you to pass that along them? Certainly. Thank you very much, Your Highness. Oh, think nothing of it. It's the least I could do after all they've done for me. I owe you a great deal too, Cassius. If not for your assistance, stopping that armored division from crossing into Libel wouldn't have been as simple as it was. Haha, I could say the same to you. Still, as I am sure you're aware that outcome will have been well within the realm of possibility for the Chancellor. I doubt he was even surprised by the incident. Really? Most likely not. Erebonia had nothing anything to gain from using that situation to occupy Libel. Hat nichts irgendwas. Irgendwie macht das gerade keinen Sinn. Certainly not to the extent that it would be worth going out of their way to develop inefficient steam tanks. The only reason I can see for him doing what he did was as a show of power to surrounding nations, a statement that even without orbital power, Erebonia's army could still act. I indeed suspect that was his true aim all along. Und wenn er tatsächlich zusammenarbeitet mit der Society, die ja die Gospel hat und sowas, könnte das ja schon irgendwie dahin führen, dass die Society eventuell vorhat, beziehungsweise er irgendwie vorhat, überall die Orbital-Sachen, ne, die Orbital Energy lahmzulegen, damit er mit seinen Steam-Tanks dann alles überrollen kann. Goodness. So, you did notice. The orbital shutdown phenomenon was a complete unknown to the rest of the continent. Aber für den Chancellor halt nicht, weil er mit der Society unter einer Decke steckt. Perhaps it might never occur again, but there's always the chance it might, whether it's here or somewhere else entirely. Ja, zumal die Aureole, die einfach verschwunden ist. Also wir wissen ja nicht, wo die ist ja nicht sichergestellt worden. Vielleicht hat tatsächlich die Society sie doch unter ihre Kontrolle gebracht. Und das ist alles Teil des Plans von dem Chancellor. Könnte ich mir vorstellen. I heard the Empire only built a relatively small number of those tanks in all too. Certainly not enough to launch a full-scale invasion. By the sounds of it, they were just put together in Rainford's factories using parts intended for standard orbital tanks. But as it stands, the know-how to put together tanks like that only exists in the Empire. And in these unpredictable times, no other nation has the time or resources to try and develop extremely inefficient steam-powered weaponry. In a sense, because of what just happened, the Imperial Army's effect as a deterrent is even greater than ever. He's using war as a diplomatic tool, and very effectively at that. None of this had even occurred to me. I have a long way to go before I'm fit to be the ruler of this country. Don't beat yourself up too much about it. He's no ordinary foe to even the most of hardened veterans. The Chancellor always seems to be thinking several steps ahead of the rest of the world. It's impressive no matter what we may think of his actual ideas. I'm quite the reckless fool to be trying to challenge him, if I do say so myself. Don't be silly, Your Highness. How you can say that with a smile on your face is utterly beyond me. You should focus on building yourself a strong foothold to begin with. I do hope you'll be careful. No matter what may occur, be sure to not lose sight of exactly where you stand. Of course, Your Majesty. If I were to go and bring shame upon myself now, I'd be wasting all the effort involved in escorting me back home. I'll be sure to take what you have said to heart. Excuse me, Your Majesty? Ja, ach, das ist Hilda. Hilda? Whatever is the matter? It's not often I see you so flustered. My apologies, Your Majesty. It's just that a guest for you arrived all of a sudden at the castle. Ordinarily, I would not have rushed in while you were meeting with all others, but the visitor is so irregular that I thought you should know at once. Irregular? How so? It sounds like it's about time I take my leave then. Actually, the visitor said he would like to greet you as well, and not just Her Majesty. What? Hilda, just who is the visitor? Well, he introduced himself as Chancellor Gileath Osborne of the Erebonian Empire. Aha, hier sieht man den also schon das erste Mal. Ah, da ist er. Ich finde, der Typ sieht einfach auch schon böse aus. Guckt ihn euch an. Ich trau dem nicht.
Ah, it's an honor to be granted a personal audience. I am Gileath Osborne, representative of the Imperial Government. My apologies for the abrupt intrusion.
So, you are Chancellor Osborne.
And it's a pleasure to see you again as well, Your Highness.
Guckt euch den einfach an, das Gesicht und alles. Was an dem schreit der nicht? Ich bin der Hauptbösewicht. Natürlich arbeitet so einer mit der Society zusammen.
It's been a year since we last met, has it not? I hope these passing months have seen you well.
Yes, a year sounds about right. Still, while I hope you'll forgive me for asking, just what did prompt someone of your stature to appear at the castle without warning? I'd very much like to hear your side of the story.
My apologies, Your Highness. You see, these past few days I've been touring Eastern Erebonia on routine inspections. It's been going very smoothly, more so than I had initially anticipated. I had enough free time in my schedule to pay a cordial visit.
Oh my, is that so?
Naturally, I would have preferred to come here while the crisis was still unfolding like you yourself did, Your Highness. Unfortunately, the confusion in Southern Erebonia was simply too pressing a matter, and I had no choice but to deal with that first. This was the first chance that presented itself to come here and meet directly with Her Majesty, so I acted with the utmost expediency. I hope you'll forgive my lack of proper decorum in failing to give advance notice of my arrival.
That does make sense, at least. Regardless, please don't concern yourself with me. No doubt you wish to offer your greetings to Her Majesty.
My thanks, Your Highness.
Ich mag ihn nicht.
Well then, allow me to extend my most heartfelt greetings to both of you, Queen Alicia and Princess Claudia. It's abundantly clear that the crisis that unfolded here has been quite the ordeal for yourselves and for your nation's people. You have my deepest sympathies for the hardships you have endured, as well as my commendation for bringing the situation under control.
I thank you for your kind words, Your Excellency. If anything, we should be apologizing to you for the fact that the southern side of your nation was caught up in what should have been our problem. We should be the ones going to you rather than having you trouble yourself to come all the way to Libel. I beg you to accept our apologies together with my deepest thanks for coming here today.
I would never ask for apologies. I've heard what happened was the work of a shadowy organization stirring up trouble within your borders.
Eine Organisation, mit der du angeblich zusammenarbeitest. Nur noch mal so nebenbei bemerkt.
While I meant well by sending a military force to aid you, I wouldn't have done something so careless had I known the truth of the matter. My actions were rash, foolish even, and I was rightfully reprimanded by His Imperial Majesty for them.
Oh my.
Fortunately, His Highness the Prince was able to act with all due haste to put right my misstep before even greater harm was done. I owe you a great debt of gratitude for that, Your Highness. And congratulations besides for your part in bringing an end to the crisis.
Oh, I did nothing out of the ordinary. I had a lot of help from Her Majesty, Her Highness and Brigadier General Bright here too. Und Joshua und Estelle und die ganzen anderen, die dabei waren. Chloe vor allem, aber die hast du ja schon erwähnt, ne?
Bright, you say? It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Excellency. I'm Cassius Bright, a Brigadier General in the Liberalian Royal Army. Haha, the pleasure's all mine, I assure you. Your name is rather well known even in the Empire. Not as much as yours is known here in Libel, I would imagine. It's an honor to be able to speak with you in person. It's certainly a surprise to be able to, though. Coming here on a whim can't have been easy for a man as busy as yourself. It sounds as though I may have underestimated just how capable you truly are. Not at all. I was greatly impressed to see the Royal Army's effectiveness in dealing with the tumult here. Your forces have proven powerful yet flexible, capable of dealing with emergency ably and decisively. I might go so far as to say it embodies an ideal that the Imperial Army with its swollen ranks could never hope to realize. You flatter us, Your Excellency.
Aber trotzdem arbeitet er nebenbei immer noch scheinbar daran, eine große Invasion oder so zu planen. Denn aus irgendeinem Grund war er vorzeitig vorbereitet auf das, was passiert, indem er diese Steam-Tanks gebaut hat.
For your part, I hear you were responsible for the establishment of the Imperial Army's famed intelligence division. Our army is in desperate need of a new one of its own, so I find myself quite envious. It almost sounds like the two of us each want what the other has. So it does.
May I ask, Your Excellency, what will you be doing now? Boah, ich habe jetzt schon einen blutigen Geschmack in der Stimme. Ich glaube, ich überstrapaziere meinen Kehlkopf damit, wenn ich den Chancellor spreche. Ich wollte gerade sagen, das sieht gerade wieder verglitscht aus, aber ich glaube, diesmal ist das sogar richtig, weil der Thron auf so einer Anhöhe steht und das perspektivbedingt so ist, dass der Teppich da so, verschoben ist.
For my part, I'm intending to leave Libel today, so I'm afraid I won't be around much longer. Yes, so I've been told. I believe you're intending to make your grand arrival in Heimdall about the famous Arsail.
I'm impressed you are already aware.
I almost wish I could return to Erebonia on board it alongside you. But alas, I'm afraid I've other business demanding my attention after I'm finished here. I'll be leaving Libel separately this afternoon.
That is a shame. I would very much have liked to invite you to this evening's banquet.
Please, you need not go to such troubles on my account. I feel as though I've put you out enough showing up unannounced as I did, to say nothing of dining with such esteemed company. Still, I do have some time before the airship I'll be leaving on is due to depart. That being the case, might I ask for a little of your time, Your Highness? I have a few things I'd like to discuss with you personally.
Heh. Very well. Also, die Highness meint er gerade, also Olivier.
I have some matters I would actually like to discuss personally with you as well. What a fortuitous coincidence.
Allow me to have a room arranged for the two of you. To have your discussion then. Hilda, if you would.
Certainly, Your Majesty.
Also kommt jetzt noch eine Diskussion zwischen Olivier und Osborne, oder wie? Scheint ganz so. Und Müller steht draußen Wache und es ist definitiv verglitscht. Es ist definitiv wieder verglitscht. Was ist denn eigentlich los mit diesem Spiel in letzter Zeit? Olivier schwebt in der Luft. Direkt vor ihm so eine Tasse, die in der Luft schwebt. Und so ein halber Tisch, der aus dem Boden guckt.
It's obvious that Her Majesty is quite the tea fancier, if this blend is anything to go by. The fragrance, the temperature, the taste. I'd be hard-pressed to find fault with any of it. I've always been more of a coffee man myself, but I have no doubt that I'd be content with a cup of this at my desk each morning. As much as I agree with you, I don't believe we're here to talk about beverages. So, shall we get right to the point? What did you want to discuss with me? I see your sojourn in Libel has proven most fruitful. Pardon? When we last spoke, you struck me as a bright, flexible young man, and no doubt you still are. But now I see you resilient inner strength. I see in your resilient inner strength, girding those aspects. I'm sure His Majesty will be most delighted with your personal development. Meanwhile, I see you're the same fearless man I've always known you to be. More so even, that crushing aura about you seems to have only grown with time. It's as if you feed on the resentment of those who live in the territories you annex. Such hard words, Your Highness. Personally, I'd prefer the term political unification. Annex can carry such negative connotations, you know. Since the end of the 100 Days' War, our army hasn't committed a single act of aggression. All our unifications have been entirely peaceful. Ja, wie möchtest du das denn erzählen? Oh, you're quite right about that. On the surface. Oh? It's amazing how similar the annexation process is every single time it happens. It starts with a small nation or independent state with an array of problems beyond repair. Those problems start to worsen, after which Jaegers and other dangerous elements enter, plunging public order to an all-time low. Desperate for a solution, the local government requests the help of the Imperial Army. Before they know, they're a part of the Empire. Well, it's not as though I can deny what you are saying. It's not as though I can deny what you're saying. Each instance does share certain commonalities. Ja, vielleicht ist es aber einfach kein Zufall, ne? Schön, dass da unten eine verglitschte Textbox zu sehen ist, wo einfach Empire steht. Still, it's to be expected an inevitable consequence of the age of unchecked growth and progress in which we live. The Imperial Army is simply acting in the Empire's best interests, helping to stabilize our neighbors for the good of the Empire. And it's understandable that they would. I do find myself rather curious why Intelligence Division members are going to such nations with such peculiar frequency. Well, before the problems I described worsen, no less. Ach, davor sogar noch. I won't press as to where you came by such information, as curious as I am. But I will say this, at its most basic level, these actions are about risk management. It's because we've been acting to minimize such risks beforehand that the army has been able to successfully quell each problem in turn. With the small price of earning the disdain of the people in those nations and an increased risk of terrorism in exchange. To tell you the truth, I'm rather astounded that you had the courage to come here to Libel all on your own to begin with. After all, you've earned yourself the biggest target for terrorists in all of Erebonia. Your concern is touching, Your Majesty. Your Highness. Die Majestät ist ja nur der König, ne? Alle anderen sind nur Your Highness. I would ask that you not trouble yourself with my safety. I employ some very skilled subordinates tasked primarily with eliminating the risk of terrorist attacks against me. Really now? That Lecter is one of those, I assume? A rather peculiar fellow, isn't he? But a very useful one all the same. Working out the scheduling for this trip and taking all the necessary precautions to ward off terrorist threats were both his doing, and thanks to his commendable efforts, I can depart for Crossbill free from worries as soon as I've finished my business here. Ja, Crossbill soll wohl das nächste Ding sein, was er wieder einnehmen will, ne?
Im Moment ist es ja so, dass Crossbill noch ein unabhängiger Staat ist, um den sich Calvert und Erebonia so ein bisschen kloppen, weil der direkt dazwischen liegt. Mal schauen, wohin das alles führt. Crossbill.
Are you surprised? You'll be participating in a top-secret discussion with a representative of the Crossbill government. Recently, a large amount of funding has been flowing into the country through Republican channels, putting our allies on the defensive. I'd always meant to visit at some point, and this seemed the perfect opportunity.
Are you out of your mind? Crossbill is full of enemies and different factions at each other's throats. I hear it's now even a hotbed for terrorists and criminal organizations because of its position as a buffer state. Does that really sound like a place the Erebonian Chancellor should be going even on an unofficial visit?
I'm surprised to hear you advocating caution in the face of potential danger, Your Highness. After all, it was you who flew onto an ancient city at great risk to your own safety and returned unharmed after serving it. Compared to such rousing risk-taking, my visit to Crossbill will be a child's play. As I'm sure you're aware, you're regarded as something of a hero back in Erebonia now. To see a hero make a grand return befitting his newly minded legend, and aboard the famous Arcyle no less. Naturally, our hero has also taken the time to ensure that every well-known newspaper and magazine are aware of his homecoming too. Oh, I have no doubts that your triumphant arrival will be every bit as glorious as it has played out in your imaginings, Your Highness. Do be sure to capitalize on this chance as best as you can to build yourself a firm foothold. I expect great things from you after all.
Ja, ja. Sticheleien. Nichts als Sticheleien kommen von ihm. Ich hoffe, ich muss ihn nicht weiter sprechen. Ach, guck mal, da ist ja die Stadt, die ist im Meer versunken, wie es aussieht. Oh Gott, da stimmt ja gerade gar nichts mehr. Guck mal, Sieg. Was hat... Sieg kennt ihn ja noch von früher, ne? Aus der... Hey, buddy. You haven't changed a bit, huh? Really? Sounds like a ton's happened, huh? But it's nice to see you and your master are doing alright. Lecter? Das ist doch Chloe, ne? Ja. Alter! Da stimmt ja echt gar nichts mehr. Das ist ja voll der Drogentrip gerade. Oh mein Gott, warum glitscht das Spiel so rum? Well, good day to you, Your Highness. I pray I'm not causing any trouble by taking tour of the castle like this. The view from this terrace certainly is beautiful, isn't it? What happened to you, Lecter? How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne? I'm sorry, I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. Are you perchance mistaking me for someone else? Your name is Lecter Arundel. You were the student council president at Gina's Royal Academy, which you attended before leaving suddenly 2 years ago. So no, I'm not mistaking you for someone else. But that's where you're wrong, because my name is actually Lecter Arundel. Genau, Lecter Arundel. Einfach nur verschoben, ja klar. I can certainly see how our names could become mixed up, however. They are scarily close. Nein. Still, you know, please just call me Lek. Don't try and joke around with me, Lecter. Do you have any idea how worried all of us were when you just disappeared without a word? You submitted your notice to leave the academy and then were never seen again. Even the otherwise calm Leo let out a cry of anger when he found out. And all Lucy could do was give a sad smile and say, "This is just like him. the whole time with tears in her eyes. Jill and Hans were heartbroken, and so was I. Yet after all this time, you finally show yourself, knowing full well that I'm here, and this is how you act, by pretending you're someone else. Lecter. Sorry. No need for the scary glare. You're still taking things way too seriously. Looks like it will take more than stepping up as crown princess to change that part of you. Oh, but seeing you makes me feel kinda relieved. I always figured if someone like you became crown princess, you'd have virtually no freedom to do anything other than work. But from all that's reached my ears, it sounds like you're actually doing all right for yourself. And you even made some great new friends after I left the academy, didn't you? Nice. I sure did. Nonetheless, it's thanks to you that I was able to change at all. You were the one who gave me the first push in the right direction. Und jetzt arbeitet mit den falschen Leuten zusammen, ne? I never got the chance to thank you properly after you left. But all this time, I've always been grateful to you. Well, consider me honored. Do I get a kiss in return? You do not. If I may feel respect towards you, but nothing romantic. That's a bummer. There was me all taken in by how pretty you'd become, wondering if this could be the start of something downright magical. And what happens instead? My dreams of romance and sweet smooches are crushed to nothing before they can even begin. I know you don't mean a word of that, You're looking very sharp yourself, though. It's surprising to see. Every time I've seen you before today, it was in that heavily frayed uniform worn in the most sloppy way imaginable. I think you'll find I was merely making a fashion statement. That wasn't laziness or slobbishness. Every part of it was carefully calculated and considered to have maximum effect. Ja, klar. The scary thing is, I actually believe you. You always seemed as if you cared for nothing but having fun and causing trouble, yet when it came down to it, you were wise beyond your years. And I've finally seen part of that reason behind that today. I'll ask you again, Lecter. How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne like this? Just what happened to you between you submitting your notice to leave the Academy and now? Ja, aber das ist was wir jetzt nicht rausfinden wahrscheinlich, ne? Denn wir sind ja immerhin in Oliviers Erinnerung und nicht in der von Chloe. Do you know? I have to admit I never imagined that would be the case. On the contrary, I was expecting you to tell me to back off.
Oh, ideas forbid. What reason would I have to suggest such a thing? After all, at the end of the day, our positions are functionally the same.
I'm not sure I understand. Mann, das tut weh. Es tut so weh, dass diese ganzen dramatischen Szenen so kaputt geglitscht sind.
Do you not think so? Personally, I find it difficult to believe that you would not harbor some hatred toward Erebonia as it is today. A grand empire, clinging to the glories of a bygone era, ruled by the nobility and shackled by meaningless conventions. Am I wrong? People call me the Blood and Iron Chancellor, as though I hold the whole of Erebonia in the palm of my hand. But in reality, my position is far more tenuous. I have supporters and allies in the capital, certainly, but outside its wall, the nobility holds far more sway than any of them. And while it is true I hold the great amount of power in the form of the Imperial Army, even then, I only truly command around 70% of it. The remainder is loyal to the nobility, who also maintain their own private armies. With those factored in, my advantage shrinks substantially.
Also, Es gibt in Erebonia quasi 3 Fraktionen, sage ich einfach mal. Es gibt den Adel, es gibt die Reformisten und es gibt Olivier. Also es ist halt so, der Adel will halt quasi, dass alles so bleibt wie bisher. Denn in dem Land ist halt Geburtsrecht und so entscheidend, von wegen du bist adelig und demnach erbst du dann halt auch, was deine Eltern haben und so weiter und erbst halt auch Adelstitel, bist dadurch Befehlshaber über eine bestimmte Region und alles Mögliche, das gehört dann alles dir. Und dann gibt es noch so die Reformisten. Das sind halt Nicht-Adlige, die halt gerne was an dem System ändern wollen. Und zwar so, dass der Adel komplett unwichtig wird, dass nichts mehr mit Geburtsrecht und so weiter, was ja auch irgendwo vertretbar ist. Aber irgendwie ist ja hier der Chancellor Osborne der Anführer von dieser Reformistenpartei, nenne ich es einfach mal. Und der ist halt schon, geht halt schon in Extreme, was das angeht. Und dann gibt es halt noch die dritte Partei, und zwar so Olivier, und er baut sich da halt auch so eine Gruppe noch auf, die auf keiner von beiden Seiten stehen will und eigentlich nur Frieden innerhalb der Grenzen will. Der hat zwar auch was gegen dieses System, wie es gerade besteht, möchte allerdings auch nicht, dass der Osborne freie Hand hat, weil Osborne halt in seinen Ansichten schon ziemlich extrem ist und sowas alles. Und ihr kriegt ja gerade selber mit, wie der so ist. Der ist halt auch einer, der halt Erebonia immer weiter vergrößern möchte und auch Staaten bzw. andere Länder übernimmt, auf die Gefahr hin, dass die das Land Erebonia dann hassen. Ne? Also, dass er einfach diese Gefahr in Kauf nimmt, dass es zu Bürgerkriegen, Aufständen, Terrorismus und so weiter kommt. Er will einfach nur eine Vergrößerung und sowas von allem. Merkt man hier ja auch. Und damit sind halt auch einige nicht zufrieden, unter anderem Olivier, wie man gerade merkt. Und ja. Das sind halt so die 3 Parteien, die im Moment so in Erebonia unterwegs sind.
You see, I'm still very much in the midst of a battle to truly exert control. Which is why you're building railways all over the country to expand your area of influence. And you've been annexing new territory to that same end. As I've long thought, you clearly understand me better than anyone else. That is why I'll say this once again. Work with me, Your Highness. With your support, our nation will be able to bring about real reform faster than ever. The noble faction, bloated with its centuries of decadence, can be stopped before they even have the chance to unify against us. Surely, that's what you desire more than anything.
Let me just ask a simple question, Chancellor. What connection do you have with Ouroboros?
I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I will say this, however. I'm a firm believer in using every resource at my disposal in the name of achieving reform.
Okay. Damit hat er ja klar gesagt eigentlich, er will sich dazu nicht äußern, wie viel er mit denen am Hut hat, aber er hat mit denen zu tun. Beziehungsweise er greift auf jedes Mittel zurück, was ihm weiterhilft. Also er geht auch über Leichen.
That's the way I believe in handling politics.
I see. Well, it certainly does seem as though we would see eye to eye in many ways. And that's all the more reason why I'm afraid I must refuse your offer.
Is that so?
Yes, I find it difficult to like the rotten noble faction that exists in the Empire. Or perhaps you're right that hate is the more appropriate word. But my feelings of fear towards your methods are far greater than my feelings of hatred towards the nobles. Genau das ist es ja, was ich gerade gesagt habe. What you seem to be doing is trying to compel Erebonians with a delusive utopia to whip them into an enthusiastic frenzy. No doubt by successfully convincing the people, the old guard will fall into the metaphorical firestorm created. And yet, by then, the gears will have already begun turning. There will be no satisfying an aroused populace with a thirst for revolution. The storm will just keep growing larger and more ravenous, engulfing anything and everything in its wake. You know this, don't you, Chancellor?
But of course. After all, that's what I intend to happen. It's the first stage of my reforms.
Tja.
I'd be more than happy to share further details with you if you were to decide to work with me, Your Highness. In the meantime, I wish you well in the strengthening of your foothold back in the Empire. Of course, if that's your intention, you'll find it a necessity to work with those nobles you so despise.
Ha! You truly do see through everything, don't you?
Well, that sounds like the noon bell.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, habe ich gerade eine Glocke gehört?
The airship should be arriving shortly. Which means it's time for me to take my leave, I'm afraid. I look forward to seeing you again in the capital in 2 weeks' time.
Wow. Noch verglitschter kann's da ja auch nicht sein, ne?
I take it the discussion is over then. What's wrong? You look awfully tired.
Oh, nothing. I'm just feeling anew. I just feel, I'm just feeling awed anew at what a monster I decided to pick a fight with. Ja, er ist tatsächlich ein Monster. Ach, guck mal, hier erfahren wir doch noch mehr. Und es ist immer noch alles unter Wasser. Oopsie, I think it's probably about time for the airship to arrive. I'm gonna have to stop you there and get going. What? See ya, Zeke. Next time I see you, I'll bring you some Erebonian salami as a souvenir, okay? Okay, salami. Eek! Wait, are you planning to just disappear without telling me anything a second time? Yeah. Oh, got an important question for you. Did you fall in love with someone while I was away? Yeah, Joshua. Hit the nail on the head, huh? Aw, that's so cute. First love, right? How's that feel? Heart aflutter 1 minute, end of the word the next. Don't you dare start teasing me. Aber hat irgendwie recht, ne? But you're right, though I did. He rejected me in this very spot not that long ago. Wait, you're joking, right? There's a coincidence I didn't see coming. I'm not so sure about that. It feels like you know everything sometimes. I'm not some kind of all-knowing or seeing divinity. That's what makes the world so interesting to me. Oh, I'm happy for you, Chloe. Knowing the pain of lost love's what makes a girl blossom, in my humble opinion. Do you feel like the whole experience let you get a step closer to the person you want to be? Well, what about you? Do you feel you're getting closer to becoming the person that you want to be? By being at the Chancellor's side? Kinda hard to do that when I don't have a person I want to be to begin with. I'm just sticking with him because it feels like it will be fun, that's all. I've been doing it since before I joined the academy, in fact. You have? Okay. Davor hat schon mit ihm zusammengearbeitet, oder was? That prince is proving surprisingly capable, but he still isn't a match for the Chancellor. Tell him to watch his back, alright? So that he doesn't get swallowed up by that monster after he gets tired of dancing. Tschüss. Da ist die Treppe überhaupt nicht. Goodbye, Lecter. Ist das jetzt das Ende der Side-Story? Denn ich brauche echt eine Pause. Nein, hier kommt noch was. Hier hebt wieder was ab. Wer will denn nach Hemiferia? Ja gut. Da passt mal wieder vorne und hinten nichts. Ich erkenne überhaupt nicht, wo das Luftschiff anfängt und wo irgendwie was anderes ist. Aber die beiden steigen da jetzt jedenfalls ein und müssen die über Hemiferia fliegen, um nach Erebonia zu kommen? Oder fliegt er jetzt dahin und hat denen das nicht gesagt? Er hat denen gesagt, er fliegt zurück nach Crossbell. Aber, okay. So that was the Blood and Iron Chancellor. I can't believe he actually went out of his way to use a civilian airship when he probably has a private one of his own. I'd heard rumors about how out of the ordinary he is, but he lives up to all of them. He keeps me on my toes, to pull it playfully enough. Him aside, thanks for coming all this way to see me off, Shera. I was lucky I just happened to have business here at the right time. It feels like this is going to be the last chance we get to see each one another for a while. After all. Ja. Wollt ihr nicht mal zusammen trinken nochmal? Rather unfortunate, as my dream is and always was to live away my days in the lap of luxury surrounded by women as beautiful as you. Well, good luck with that. Changing the subject, though, who was the young man at the Chancellor's side? He didn't strike me as your ordinary guy. Oh, you could tell. But of course. I'd say I'm used to running into people who are out of the ordinary at this point. We've sure fought enough of them. His name is Lecter Arundel. He's a secretary who was sent here by the Imperial government. Apparently he was the one who planned out all the details of the Chancellor's visit to Libel. I can't pretend to know much regarding his background, but he's exceptionally skilled at what he does. Actually, I know a little. What? Oh. Is that true? Yes. Claudia explained that Lecter once attended the same academy as her and had served as its student council president. She also mentioned about his sudden disappearance after the Academy Festival 2 years ago. Unbelievable. Then, someone connected to the Chancellor had visited Libel first. Then he's very likely to have had his own veritable information network established here long before I even came up with the idea. I think it's safe for us to assume that's the case. Das heißt, der Kanzler weiß auch, was in Libel alles los ist. Immer. Which also means that it's safe to assume he knows every detail about all that's happened here since. From the coup d'etat to the crisis regarding the Aureole, all of it. This man gets more unbelievable by the minute. He actually gave me a message to pass on to you earlier too. Watch your back so you don't get swallowed up by that monster when you get tired of dancing. Der war mit dem Beast gemeint. Es ging gar nicht um irgendein Trial. Das Beast ist der Chancellor. Jetzt verstehe ich's erst. He sure knows how to sting where it hurts, doesn't he? I feel like I can see a whole new world of pleasure opening up before my eyes. He should know better. Getting outdone at every turn like this is really not my style. What do you mean? Dass ihr alle in der Luft schwebt, meint er damit. Captain Schwartz, I have a little favor I'd like to ask for when we're in the air. Ja. Sehen wir das? Das sehen wir jetzt auch noch scheinbar. Da fliegt die verglitschte Arsail. Das ist nicht die Arsail, das ist das andere verglitschte Schiff. I'm rather impressed with how Prince Olivier has come along.
No matter how he chooses to act from here on, he will have his uses to be certain.
Ich verstehe mal nicht, warum in den Memory Fragments sowas drin ist, weil das ist was, das kann Olivier gar nicht mitbekommen haben. Weil Olivier hier gar nicht dabei ist. You would say that given that you think of everyone as your pawns. There's me, the prince, that society...
Indeed, and I am much the same. We are but pawns on the vast game board that is the Empire, where a thrill like no other will take place. But it's because you two wish to see how that game plays out that you've chosen to stand with me, is it not?
Well, hey, what can I say? Just don't forget that this piece right here might not be loyal forever.
And such a betrayal would be perfectly fine by me.
Okay, also Lecter ist ihm nicht loyal gegenüber, er will einfach nur sehen, wo das alles hinführt. Er ist quasi wie so ein Beobachter, also quasi wie Campanella oder so, ne?
Or did you honestly think I'd never considered the possibility it may happen?
Just thought I'd come out and say it. How are the other Ironbloods doing, by the way?
They're all doing very well, by the sound of it. At the rate things are going, there's a chance of all the prince's efforts will be for naught. Perhaps I ought to hold back on him a little.
You shouldn't pull any punches, do you? You know something? I wouldn't write him off so easily when I were in your shoes.
What?
Jetzt kommt er nämlich angeflogen, oder wie? Die A-Stelle ist aber ebenfalls verglitscht. Das ist komisch. Man kann überall durchgucken und so.
What?
Ach, guck mal, ein paar Rosen hat dabei. Ist das nicht schön?
Those look like...
Rose petals?
If you look out the windows on the right hand side of the ship, you will be able. We've been informed that it's on its way to the Imperial capital, where Prince Olivier, the Remonian blah blah, has given us to relate to all of us passengers on board. I give thanks to Eiyuu for the good fortune to have been able to. May your journey be filled with beautiful roses and her blessings, and of course, may your journey to your homes be safe and pleasant ones. That marks the end of his message.
Hat er einfach mal die Show gestohlen. Das war eine offizielle Herausforderung zum Tanz, hä? Da oben liegt alles voll mit Rosenblättern. Das könnte so viel schöner aussehen, wenn es gerade nicht wieder so glitchy wäre. Ich habe das Gefühl, das Spiel darf nicht so lange am Stück laufen. Ich muss das zwischendurch immer mal beenden. I never thought there was a bigger dumbass in this world than me, and yet here we are.
Very well, debaucherous prince. I look forward to seeing what you can do. Show me how long you can hold out against me.
Tja. Er ist nicht drauf, hat sich nicht einschüchtern lassen. Sides of Return to the Empire finished. Divine Eye. Okay. Dann, einfach mal wieder zurück zur Base Area, ne? Dann speichere ich hier nochmal. Und ich sag mal, wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal hier wieder. Bis dann, Leute.